When it comes to longevity, Lexus isn't competing with BMW or Mercedes. They are in a completely different league of their own. These cars are meant to keep running for decades. Let's talk about why Lexus cars seem to last forever. Hello and welcome everybody to the Curbside Corner. My name is Eric and today we're talking about why Lexus cars seem to last forever. But before we get started in this video, if you could please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It would mean the absolute world to me, and in return, here's a picture of some cows. And moving into our first topic of this video is something super interesting when I was doing research for this video, and that is Lexus and Toyota are constantly overbuilding their components in their cars. For example, when most other companies are looking to make cars lighter for increased performance or fuel efficiency, Lexus has always had the opposite thought process. Instead, they look to make parts last much longer and be able to take on much heavier wear than the parts were ever meant to experience. This almost always leads to Lexus having much lower performance than the competition. My thoughts are that Lexus isn't looking for the fastest possible car or the most fuel efficient car they could possibly make. Instead, they're aiming for their target demographic, and their target demographic are looking for cars that are comfortable and have high levels of reliability. And even if you kind of think that Lexus cars can be on the more boring side, there is something about having the peace of mind of just having high levels of reliability. And moving into our second topic of this video is that how Lexus and Toyota have double if not triple down on hybrid technology. Hybrid technology has gone hand in hand with Toyota and Lexus for a number of years. And this is proving a huge success as the other car manufacturers are trying to continuously push EV technologies. As someone who lives in the center area of the EV car takeover, I can say with confidence that anyone who wanted an EV already has an EV by now or is already thinking about which EV that they want. However, I know I'll get some pushback for this, but I truly think that the near future for Toyota and Lexus is hybrid technology and not EVs. I do believe that one day Lexus and Toyota will truly push themselves in the EV market. However, since they have doubled if not tripled down on the hybrid technologies, it's giving them a long runway to truly figure out the EV technologies, both the positives and the negative, and it's going to let them have a huge advantage when they finally go headfirst into EVs. And moving into the last topic of this video is something that every consumer knows about Lexus and Toyota, and that is the Lexus and Toyota tax is completely real. As someone who is always doing research onto used car market, the new car market, I am genuinely surprised by how much of a price difference you will see between Lexus, Toyota, and especially the German competition. You can see almost brand new German BMWs, Mercedes cars just a few years old after leases, and they're extremely cheap to buy, versus Lexus's. I consistently see high-end Lexuses and Lexuses that are very well sought after, completely high mileage, but still selling for in the $20,000 to $30,000 range. Versus the German competition, you're looking at cars that you can get a near brand new car for $20,000 to $30,000. However, is that justifiable? And honestly, looking at how Lexus and Toyota builds their cars, and especially after doing research for this video, it does make sense why there is the Toyota and Lexus tax. I know that they're not the fastest cars out there or the newest technology wise or the most fuel efficient. However, one thing that keeps crossing my mind, especially when doing research for this video, is just how well these Lexus cars and Toyota cars are built for longevity. And they truly are, with overbuilt components, not really caring about having the latest and greatest tech in cars that could potentially have bugs or be faulty. Lexus just continuously builds cars that they're just looking for something that is reliable and it has extremely high longevity. And that leads to the prices in the used car market, just showing it how much of a difference it is, because those German competitions, oh man, are they fast. They are so cool with all the tech, but then that does mean that once those cars are out of warranty, you truly are looking at a high repair bill and something that's always a little bit more expensive with the odds and ends versus Toyota and Lexus. And one of the last things I wanted to bring up too as well is that because at the end of the day, Lexuses are in some ways just a fancy Toyota, that actually means a good thing as well, and that you can actually put a lot of Toyota components into a Lexus car and it works simultaneously, instead of having to constantly buy Lexus parts, or in the German competition having to buy extremely expensive BMW or Mercedes parts. But in conclusion, I honestly thought that I was going to have an entirely different perspective when doing research for this video. I always thought to myself, I don't understand why Lexus and Toyota cars are so expensive compared to the competition. However, after doing research for this video, it makes total sense to me. With Lexus and Toyota, especially just focusing on overbuilding their components to last even longer than they're supposed to, and focusing, if not double or triple down on hybrid technologies, it makes total sense to me. With the Toyota philosophy is that they want to keep their cars on the road for as long as possible. It makes total sense to me why the used market and Toyota cars in general are so much more expensive, even if they're not the fastest or the coolest technology or the most fuel efficient cars. However, I would love to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts about Lexus? Do you think that they're expensive for a reason? And why do you think they last forever? But as always, my name is Eric. Thank you so much for pulling up to the curb, and let's keep talking cars.